and you stand up against the system of injustice by calling it out, you get punished for it. 90 days suspension without pay versus a white race soldier cop who is now receiving $50,000 money from the city of Los Angeles. You see the contrast there, family? That's the contrast of an apartheid system that we live in. All right, you already know what it is, family. Chauncey, aka Ukarema, Great Man of God Media, with another GMOGMedia Spotlight. All right, family, the topic I want to talk about is the apartheid system of North America. We're living in an apartheid system. I mean, when you look up the word apartheid, it reflects to the racism of South Africa. We have been an apartheid state for a very long time, ever since we've been so-called integrated into the dominant white society's resources. And so it's been well apparent that, racism, white supremacy is the root cause for our issues that we're having right now. For those of you who are new, once again, my name is Chauncey, aka Ukarema, Great Man of God Media. I talk about issues that affect black people collectively as a group. I also offer my suggestions on how to replace this system of racism, which is white supremacy, with the system of justice. So if you're new, please subscribe. All right. So the apartheid system of North America, right? As you know, our ancestors, we built this country. Over 400 years of mistreatment, subjugation, colonization. We have been oppressed by the dominant white society. What I want to specifically talk about today, family, is a couple of stories that contrast one another, that definitely highlight this particular issue that we're facing right now, which is racism, white supremacy. The story that just came up in the LA Times, right? It's about a race soldier cop. And yes, I'm not calling him a suspected race soldier. I am calling him a full-fledged race soldier. Okay? A racist white cop that is out to mistreat, harm, and destroy black people. This race soldier's name is Frank Lyga. Okay, now this man was a former LAPD detective, and the city of Los Angeles is willing to pay $50,000 because this race soldier cop sued the city for being wrongfully accused of being a white supremacist racist. Okay, I'm going to read part of the story, family, and you'll have it on the screen. The headline is, City to pay $50,000 to ex-LAPD detective who sued after being fired for racially charged remarks. Quote, the city of Los Angeles has agreed to pay $50,000 to settle a lawsuit brought by a former Los Angeles Police Department detective who was fired after making racially charged remarks during a training session and then sued to get his job back. The settlement signals the end of federal lawsuit that Frank Lyga filed last year, alleging the city discriminated against him because he was a white police officer who was wrongly perceived to be a racist. So this guy is saying that the city wrongfully accused this white cop, this race soldier cop, of being a racist. And let me play this audio clip right now, family, because this particular lawsuit stems from a audio recording where he was happy to admit he will kill a whole bunch of quote-unquote niggers. Well, he didn't say that, but I'm paraphrasing. He would be happy to shoot and kill a whole bunch of niggers in a truck full of black people. He would be happy. So he was actually confessing that did he regret shooting a police officer at the time who was off duty? Did he regret shooting him? And he was happy to say, no, I wasn't. And if there were more in the truck, I would definitely kill a whole bunch of niggers in the truck. Let me play this audio real quick so you understand what I'm talking about.
The last thing I'm going to say is Carl Douglas hit me up. He goes, did you intend to shoot him? I says, I hit him, didn't I? He goes, well, it wasn't an accident. No, it wasn't an accident. He goes, do you have any regrets? I says, yeah. And he leans forward again. He goes, you regret shooting him? I says, no, I regret that he was alone in the truck at the time. Figure that one out. You didn't hear that? Alone in the truck at the time. I could have killed a whole truckload of them. would have been happily doing so.
So you heard it there, family. And again, this has been referenced before. 2006, the FBI issued a report saying that there have been white supremacists that have infiltrated the law enforcement department. This guy is one of them, a race soldier cop out to mistreat, harm, and destroy black people. Okay, a race soldier disguised as a police officer. That's what this race soldier is. Happy to kill a whole bunch of blacks and many more. Okay, and he is getting money from the city, $50,000. $50,000. Okay, because of him being wrongfully accused of being perceived as a racist, which of course he is a full-fledged white supremacist race soldier. You cannot deny that. It's unequivocal. You cannot deny that. So again, this apartheid system that we live in North America is what we are living in today. Now, the contrast to that story is, family, you have a black judge. Some of you may have heard of him before from last year. A black judge named Olu Stevens. All right, Olu Stevens was standing up against racism, white supremacy. He called out, a jury. He called out a jury of not selecting minorities, but specifically he was talking about not selecting black people in a jury pool. He called that out. He called out racism for that. And now, family, he was just recently punished for doing so. Punished 90 days without pay for calling out and standing up against racism, white supremacy. Okay, the headline reads, Judge Stevens accepts suspension over comments. Quote, a months-long legal saga over judicial ethics violations, estranged in discussions of race, juries, and fairness of the criminal justice system ended swiftly in court Monday, where Jefferson Circuit Court Judge Olu Stevens accepted a 90-day unpaid suspension and offered an apology. Most of the judicial misconduct charges levied by the state's Judicial Conduct Commission arose from social media and other comments in which Stevens attacked the county's top prosecutor, Commonwealth Attorney Tom Wine, alleged he was a racist and who wanted to preserve the right to all white juries. All right. Now, he had apologized too. The white supremacists made him apologize. Quote, I realize now this was wrong, Stevens said Monday, adding later he doesn't believe Wine is a racist. Crazy. That's a lie. I know he thinks he's a racist. It also goes to say that I apologize for any statements that implied as such. End quote. That's the power of racism, white supremacy, family. They control, again, all 9 areas of activity. That's economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war. That is what you call the dominant white society. So when you're working for the quote-unquote system as a judge in their system that they control, and you stand up against the system of injustice by calling it out, you get punished for it. 90 days suspension without pay versus a white race soldier cop who is now receiving $50,000 money from the city of Los Angeles. You see the contrast there, family? That's the contrast of an apartheid system that we live in. And again, I've talked about this before. The National Commission on Civil Disorders, aka the Kerner Commission report, indicates that we live in 2 societies, one black, one white, separate and unequal. We have been like that post 1968, post integration. We have been like that, and we will continue to be like that. We will continue to be mistreated, subjugated, marginalized, etc., until we replace this system of racism, white supremacy with a system of justice. Okay, so that particular contrast I wanted to bring out to the family is because this is an apartheid system we live in North America. You're going to have stories like that. You're going to have stories of black men, women, and children being gunned down by race soldiers. You're going to continue to have that until we replace this system of racism, white supremacy with the system of justice, which of course I always talk about. One of the solutions we need to do is we need to be more involved with local municipal elections. Get to know your local city officials, get to know your mayor, your county commission, your city manager, your police chief, the upcoming election for your local city. Try to finance a campaign. Once you finance a campaign, get a list of demands that you want to see change in your city. Okay? Start a voting block, a super PAC. I've already talked about this in previous videos, family. You can go back and check out my videos where I talk about black people must be proactive. I get more in depth with that. But again, the key is local politics, municipal elections. Be more involved in that so we can have these systematic changes, so we can start implementing different things to replace this system of racism, white supremacy with the system of justice. So we need to start doing that, family, ASAP, because these stories right here, that contrast of this damn race soldier getting money, $50,000 versus a judge who called out injustices for having all white juries, 90-day suspension without pay. Come on, family. Come on. We know that this system that we live in is racism, white supremacy to the key. We know that we live in a system where it's an apartheid system that is extremely, extremely divisive towards black people. We know this. All right. So that's what I wanted to talk about, family. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, family. Again, Chauncey, aka Ukarema, Great Man of God Media, signing out. Peace.